Yeah, set your bags off to one side because you're going to need your lamps for building. This is the Buildathon. You're going to need a little bit of room. Colin's going to help, and he's going to ask a couple guys. You can help Colin distribute the kids. You're an expert at that, okay? So you need to be Colin's assistant. Colin, I just got you an assistant. Yeah, come on. He's prepping the kids. He's going to go each side because we push things as fast as possible so we don't waste any time. Get kids out the door. Complete the build. We got a short time to build. Like, we're going to build on, everybody's going to build again. Yes. It might have gone into Windows line screen. Yeah. It's not quite 1 o'clock, but we still might have a few people drifting. This is what I like to see.
Is anybody next to a spare seat?
Go in, just go in one seat so someone can. So all seats. Oh, got one seat in the back row. All right. More coming. The fire Well, we did a Buildathon at Dayton where we had tables in front of us. Now, you guys don't have any tables, so I had to make it simpler, quicker, because I don't have an hour just for Buildathon. So this is a real quickie. But, you know, be careful. I think everybody can build it. You got any more stragglers coming in? I like stragglers because I want as many people as I can in this room. Trying to go for a record here. We had the Buildathon at Dayton was 246 builders. Actually 248. 2 gave up because one couldn't see the parts and the other guy couldn't even pick the parts up with his big fingers. So 2 guys gave up and 246 built it, 246 finished it, 246 kids worked when they went out the door. So that was about the biggest. It was a grand sight. A ball full of people, all big buildings.
I could feel a tear right up in
Well, I wanted to make sure you could experience one, so I wanted to bring it here. So, are we all done? Yeah. Okay, let's roll.
Do you know Rex?
No.
Rex is the Tunitin king, or was the Tunitin king.
I think it's still the king. I don't think anybody puts out any more tuna cans than I do.
Has a full range of kit, most of which are built in everyday small things. And we may have seen the adverts around the place, but you are going to take part in that. And then, what's the last bit?
The last bit, we're going to build an ARM Pro.
Ah, we're going to build, yeah.
Everybody's going to build an ARM Pro.
Okay.
And you get to take them home.
Free of charge.
You don't have to hand it back in.
I'll leave you with Rex. It's far more important.
Oh, I don't think so. Okay. Anybody who don't know who I am, I'm W1REX from Limerick, Maine. And I do a lot of, been doing kits for almost 20 years. Started off with a tuna tin. I do a lot of homeroom supplies, do the rock mics, and anything I can get my hands on that's fun. Anyway, I did a proposal about 5 years ago in Dayton to do a Buildathon with everybody who came to Dayton, to 4 days in May, which is about 300 people. We've got 300 seats, I think, legally in the ballroom. And it was shot down. It was shot down by the person who was in control of 4 days of May because he thought it was going to head for a train wreck. And he didn't want any train wrecks at 4 days of May, so we did a little Build-A-Long thing. And I don't know if anybody remembered that from about 4 or 5 years ago when Steve Fletcher and I, we did it in the presentation room, and we streamed it around the world. And we had about 50 or 60 people build it all at the same time from all over the world. That was the first one of these events. It was called a Build-A-Long. When Steve became president, he asked me if I knew anybody who would be stupid enough to try to do a Buildathon in the hall with all the people, and I said, well, I think I know somebody who's stupid enough to try it. And I got the green light and did it. It was a lot of fun. This is a combined thing. I'm going to do a quick little talk about kit building, and then we're going to do a Buildathon. And I've allocated about 20 minutes, and I hope that's enough. I did it in 1 minute, 18 seconds. But I wasn't setting a speed record. Then again, I built the WKBB, the world's biggest Buildathon kit, in 8 minutes while making the sheet for sorting parts. And it took most people about 70 minutes to build it at the show. So I'm not trying to set any speed records, but we should be able to accomplish the task in 10 or 20 minutes. So I go to a lot of shows, I sell my kits, I sell my homebrew supplies, and I very often get comments. Uh-oh. What did I do? Hello? Hello? Did I do something? Oh, I turned it off. I'm sorry. I'm not good with technology. But what I get often, I get that, and I've heard it, I think here, that they don't really have a place to build. You know, they use the dining room table, the kitchen table, their wife shoes them out. They don't have the luxury of building. So this is sort of a talk aimed at that. Now, not everybody has a spacious home. This is my family home up in Scotland, Blair Castle. I'm a Murray, and there's lots of room to build kits up there, but most people don't live in a house that big. So they have to make allowances. Here's my cabin in the woods with my trailer full of tires. There's not much room in there because my wife doesn't let me build stuff in my house. So I have a 30-foot by 72-foot Quonset hut to build things in. That's the shop in my Quonset hut. Because I do a lot of kitting, I can never find my bench, so I can't build anything on it. There's a close-up of my actual kit building area. Yeah, as you can see, I probably wouldn't be very efficient building any kits there. I moved over to the basement, and I was working pretty good. My daughter had a little play area, and she had an air hockey table, and I was doing some building and kitting there. But then my wife came down and started doing her music. There's her violin case, and then she complained about my stuff being on the air hockey table.
Excuse me, do you mind, could we move the curtain so we can see the
sure.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam.
So I got chewed off the air hockey table and the rest of the basement. Now there's a nice looking bench for building stuff. Not much room down the bottom, but it's a nice bench. And obviously this person has built a lot of things. Now this is where I take a divergent tack because, you know, we all like, who here are QRPers? Are there people here who are not QRPers at this QRP convention? Okay. In America we have things, I mean, Field Day, you have Field Day over here?
Yeah.
You have QRP at Field. That was started by the New England QRP Club, where you have to go into the field. You have to at least do, I think, 500 feet by foot. So you can't work out of your car. You have to actually go into a field somewhere to operate. Flight of the bumblebees, another one, sun's on the air, islands on the air. Oh, freeze your butt off or buns off. I can't remember that one. But they have to do that one outdoors in the winter. And you get extra points for how cold it is. But the reason that QRP is kind of cool is because our rigs are small, they're portable, you can take them someplace, kind of fun, and work. Well, the exact same things about QRP rigs applies to QRP kits. They're small, they're easy to build, they're lightweight. You can take them someplace else. You don't have to build at home. I have a daughter who's a thespian. She likes to go to, likes to be in plays. Well, she was in 3 or 4 different plays at this theater group. And she didn't have a license, and my wife works nights. So I had to take her to the rehearsals. 2 or 3 times a week, 3 hours long. Just far enough I couldn't return home and then go back. So I had to figure out 3 hours to kill. This is a park. It's right across the street from her theater. And they had a great pavilion. I'd go down there and I'd build a kit. Great picnic tables. And there I am sitting at my stuff on a picnic table in the park. And one of the nice things about picnic tables, they have boards and cracks in boards. So I just put a piece of graph paper down, and I put the parts right through the graph paper, and stick them right through the crack in the planks, and then mark them. And this is that's a 40th anniversary kit I'm building here at Untitled too. So it's kind of convenient. Now that's daytime, but it's kind of cool. Another place I like to build stuff is at a QRP meeting. In this case, this is LobsterCon. This is a build-a-thon we had starting at around midnight. This is by a 500-watt big work light that's on top of my ambulance. Sticking down, we had about 25 guys building tuning tins. So this is the year that Ed Hare brought the original tuning tin to LobsterCon. So we all had the original tuning tin to hold and feel, and we built tuning tins, and then we did a little bit of mojo in the middle of the night. A lot of fun. But, and I come to places, I come to Dayton, I'm always building something in my room. I don't even let the maids in my room. I meet them in the hallway, give them a couple of bucks. I want towels and shampoo. Stay out of my room. I don't want to see what I'm doing in there. And last night I built something. I built my little badge in my room last night about 2 o'clock in the morning. One of the nice things about QRP is the fact that it's not like a QRO. You don't have to have, big punches to get the screw sockets in. You're not working with big aluminum things and stuff like that. So you don't need very many tools. But in my purposes, one tool that you do need is an alternative soldering iron. This is a 12-volt. This is a very nice 12-volt iron. I think I paid about $12 for this, and I use it every time I go to a convention. I like to use it and build something on the bench to get people to come in and experience QRP. I get them to build something. And usually I have like a 35 amp hour gel cell battery underneath my bench. I don't buy electricity when I go to a show. And I operate off of that. And it's kind of fun. But that is convenient. That allows you to build anywhere. In this picture, the second one is that little stubby. That's a butane fired soldering iron. That's a Radio Shack iron, and that iron is great. I've lost 3 of those to TSA. But I have 2 more. But between a 12-volt or butane, you can go anywhere and build a kit. In fact, they ought to have a contest where you go in the field and you build a kit in the field and you operate it and you get 1,000,000 points. Okay? You don't just get a magnifier, you get 1,000,000 points for that. But one of those 2 makes it, you can still take a station or an iron somewhere, but then you got to find 110 volts. Now, I live in a very small town, Limerick, Maine. How'd that slip in there? Okay. I remember why that was there. How do I go backwards? One of the things I use, instead of having a big clunky board holder, a Panduit or something like that, I have these little ABS things I invented. It allows me to make a very light board holder, and I can take it anywhere. Of course, a good meter always works, but you don't really need one when you're building, only when you're done building and you want to check it out. A few hand tools. This stuff you can put in a little shoebox, and it weighs nothing. You can put it any way you want. A few things. I like to buy my tools at Harbor Freight because I can get them for free. All I gotta do is buy something, and I get something else for free. So I usually buy something for a couple of bucks, and I get a free set of screwdrivers or a free meter, multimeter, free tape measures, free everything. So once a week I have to go to town and see my sister or take my daughter somewhere. So I was always buying a set of tools every week for nothing. Like that. Most QRPers like that. A few things that might be handy, the brass shavings. How many people here use brass shavings? How many people here use wet towels and sponges? Throw them away. Grass shavings is where it's at. So I made a little tour around my town. I live in Limerick, Maine, population 2,502, I think, according to the last sign they painted. And in our town there's 4 gazebos. 4! Amazing. And I took a picture of all 4 gazebos. One of them is right in the center of town. This is looking up Main Street, all 6 stores that we have on Main Street in Limerick, Maine. But it's a great vantage point. Now the advantage of being a builder in the field is people come out and say, what are you doing? You know, this is right across from the post office. This is right in front of the Historical Society. And I'm known as quite a character in Limerick. I go all kinds of places. I've had all my QRP stuff at the bank, showing it off. Here I am building, starting to build a kit in the Historical Society's gazebo. Historical Society, yeah. They get hysterical about old buildings. Looks to me like that's the same one I didn't advance, did I? So this is the museum. We have an early 1900s historical village that has the second gazebo. And they have everything that's like 1908, 1910, all that old-timey stuff. They get hysterical about old stuff too. But here I am building a modern kit in their gazebo. And that probably would be taboo, but I know the guy and I help him out with crystal radios and stuff, so he lets me do whatever I want at the museum. This is the one that's outside the town hall. Again, building the same kit. Another really nice place to build is the library. My librarian loves me. I haven't paid a fine for a book in like 10 years that I've lived in Limerick because I do little building things for kids at the library. Kids get all excited, they go home with a Morse code key set or something, and the librarian, she's just jumping for joy because she's had 20 or 30 more patrons at the library so she can bump her count up. But me and the librarian are like that, and I don't pay any fines. In fact, a lot of times when my family needs a book, she'll put it in our mailbox on her way home. So we don't have to go to the library when we have it. Another place we have, you can't see it, but off in the distance, way up here is Mount Washington, which is the highest mountain in New England. And this is our scenic overlook in Limerick. And you can, this nice little park bench there, it's brand new, nice new bench, got a beautiful view down, you can see the lake and the trees and the valley and the mountains and Mount Washington. Usually it has snow on it until about June. But you can build up there. And people come by, there's a nice parking lot right there. People come by and what are you doing? You nut? And of course, there's a nice porta potty right there. And that's one of the places. The library, the one outside the town hall, is of course the restroom facilities in the town hall. So those are 2 places that work pretty good. In Limerick, we have a small town park that's on one of the lakes. Like 4 picnic tables. Nice place to build. But you got to have a portable iron. Nice summer day, beautiful place to go. And there's 2 picnic tables, and up in the distance you can see the scenic overlook that's right up here on the top of that hill. It looks out over the whole valley. Pretty cool. So again, you know, I was just feeling out the places in my dinky little town. Another place I like to go is we go to the Ham Fest. Near Fest is one where you go Friday and you camp out at Friday night, and it's all day Saturday too. Well, most of the day Saturday. And I like to go there, and I work around the New England QRP Club because I'm an active member, and we share a table and a tent so we can go take a walk and somebody else can guard the table while you go out there snapping up all the goodies. So here I am, I got this little portable, this is a Walmart, no, I'm sorry, this is a Harbor Freight table, I believe. I think that was like $10. And I made a plywood board, and I put some styrofoam on it, some foam floor, and then I put one of those mag strips on it, so I can just set my cans down, they don't go anywhere, they stay right there. And I have the grass shavings and the parts and various things. And here's my portable vise / magnifier / solder holder and everything else under the sun. But I go to and I set up at the Ham Fest, and I get people who might not ordinarily do construction, they might get interested. I converted a lot of people that way. Here's a shot, nice shot of Dayton. You can't quite see the whole room, but you can see that we had a lot of builders, 246 of them. And they all built that kit. And they, after the kits went out, they got really busy in the room until they found the missing part. And then I went crazy. So what we're going to do today is we have a no solder, same idea that we did at Dayton. A no solder R Pro. We've got 2 sit strips on a board. The parts are already cut and formed. I cut and formed 1,400 parts for you guys. You better enjoy this thing. But if you don't, I'm gonna be mad. But so all you got to do is find the right places and put them in. Now there's a couple of things about when you're building a kit like this. Is if you can see it right here, this SIP socket is a little cupped, and then there's a hole in the middle. Now if you put the part down and you're sitting on the rim of that cup and you mash it down, what are you going to end up with? A mashed part. It doesn't go, you got to feel it when it goes down the hole. You'll feel it when it gets centered and it slips in that hole a little bit, then you can push it down. If you push it down and it's not in the hole, you're going to end up with a part that's just mangled, and you have to use some pliers or something to get it back. So don't be in a hurry to push it in. Wiggle it around, make sure you got a good feel for it, and your fingers will tell you when it's in there. And I use my fingernails and I sort of push the leads. It's nice to make sure the leads are square when you start, so that they're not, spread out a little bit. Check it, put it in, feel it, wiggle it, then push it down. What we're going to do is, there's 2 resistors. This picture shows they're identical because it was a mistake. I'm going to point that right out. When I took the picture, I grabbed 2 of the same resistors. But there's a 3.9 meg and a 224K. Doesn't make it, they're in series, doesn't make any difference where they go as long as they're in the 2 right spots. Then there's a 1 in 5711 diode that goes, and you can see again it's silkscreen where the 2 holes that it goes in. Once you get those 3 parts in, because they're down low, now you can go to the end and you can go to the capacitor and then use the 4th or the 3rd 0-ohm jumper to be the probe. And that's it. You should be able to build this in 2 minutes flat. Again, here's a schematic. So I have 2 resistors on the end so that if you have the wire, the bare part, these are hairpin style, so the one on the end, you can put alligator clips and we can test them real fast if you want to test them, if you think you really need to have your work checked by me. But you can also lay them down later and put them in a nice flat thing. There's also a solder point on the end so that you can actually come in with hard leads and solder them if you want. My wave solder machine filled those in because I didn't put Kaptan tape there. So you'll have to use a dry iron and poke it down in the hole, or use some solder braid, and the solder will come up, and then you have your holes and pads back again. But I'm going to leave this one up, but this is how it works. Later, you can take it home, and you just tack the little leads going into the SIP sockets, and now it's permanent. Should work. Okay, we're going to hand some stuff out. What time is it anyway? I don't have a clock.
20 past.
20 past, all right. I actually allocated 30 minutes. Any questions or answers or comments before we go do some building? Yeah.
What do you use brass filings for?
Well, the brass shavings, you stick your hot iron in the brass shavings, and when you come out, that thing is clean. And the brass shavings don't cool your iron down like a wet sponge does. You put it on a wet sponge, and you're going to take a lot of heat out of your iron just to clean it. Right? Everybody got that? Brass shavings. I used to be a wet paper towel man, I used to be a sponge man, now I'm a brass shavings guy. That's the pros. Huh?
Where do you get them from?
I just bought them from I think Radio Shack used to have them. I buy them from a big distributor, and I buy them a couple of dozen at a time. I actually sell a little kit with one of those in it, in a tuna can. But I don't sell very many of them. But I think I sold them for $8.
Amazon.
Okay. Where?
Amazon seller.
Amazon. Yes, sir.
What make of soldering iron are you holding?
This is a unknown. I bought these, I think, from a company in America called I want to say it's Circuit Specialist in Arizona. And they have a lot of nice meters and a lot of nice irons. And I buy these a couple dozen at a time. I sell these at Handfest when I go to them and I have some. This is my last one. Some lucky person might be able to get this from me. Okay. But I brought it to show you that this is a great gizmo. And it's one of the best irons. And of course, everybody knows when you look at your iron, you look at that tip. And if it's a nice looking tip and it's not that shiny nickel plated kind of thing, you know, you got a decent iron. Anything else? What's that? Antec? Aztec?
A-N-T-E-X.
Antex. 12-volt iron? I wasn't all that impressed with those Antec irons from last night, I'm sorry to say, but I like this one. Okay, he says the better one, they have a 12-volt iron. I like, you can still get that Radio Shack butane iron. I love that iron, but you can't take it on a plane. I found that out 3 times. The first time they took it on because that was huge, and it had butane in it. The second time I had run it out of butane, and they took it away because I had used it, but it might have some butane in it. And the third time I tried to slip it by, and it didn't work. So now I go with that one, and I keep my butane iron at home, because I only have 2 left now. But you can still buy them at Radio Shack. Was that a wave, or was that a wave? Okay, don't get into it quite yet, okay? Just take a look at what you got. You can empty the parts in the bowl, and then use the bowl in your lap if you need to. And we're going to use the 2 resistors and the diode first. And you have to be able to see which end of the diode is right. But you should be able to do that by now. I can tell you are all really well-informed diode fitter-inners. Everybody got kids up there? We still going? Okay, we got plenty of time. Maybe we should sound off to find out exactly how many people we have here. This is important. I need to know this part. So, 2 resistors and a diode first. The resistors have all these colored stripes on. Does it make any difference which side they are, which color they are? Uh-oh. But with the colors, you might need to, if you need some help, put your hand up, because I got helpers here. We're going to take these 2 resistors and put them up right here where the resistors go. Can you see them? Can you see the silk screen? The silk screen? So one resistor is going to go here and here, and the other is going to go here and here. So all you got to do is take the board. This resistor is going to go in here. And we're going to put the other one right there, and the diode goes over there. Got that? Okay, go ahead and do that. Okay?
There's one left.
One left? Oh, well, we got more over here. We got more. We're geared up for 150 builders, but I couldn't attract 150 builders here. Damn it. But whatever we got, it's a record, I know that. How we doing? Okay. Hey, we got a good one here. Hey, a winner. I gotta check it out. I gotta get my light somewhere. Okay, diode's right, capacitor's right. Hey, he's a winner. I don't know how long it took, but it was pretty quick, wasn't it? I couldn't do one with 20 or 30 parts because it would take an hour or 2. I had to cater to the lowest common denominator. So, cool. Now you can tack solder those at the end, lay the resistors down. You don't really have to. You can take them out and just wire it up. The pins on the end are attached to the resistors anyway. And you can see, oops, our screen disappeared. Any problems? Hey, a winner, we got another winner. Check it? Oh, I gotta check it now. Well, you're not too confident about your building, huh? I'd put the, just put the zero resistors on the back, switch them around so the bare wires are at the very end. That's where they're easier to get to with alligator clips. You got any magnifiers? Any magnifiers? Anybody got a magnifier? Somebody needs to borrow a magnifier. What do you got? Got nothing? Dude, he was first. Yeah, here. Got it to me, and I'll deliver it. Thank you very much. Here you go. See how easy it was? Well, this is what I try to do for a lot of newcomers. Trying to do something really easy, get them all excited. But this is, indeed, the kit you're building is probably the most useful QRP piece of equipment you can get. Between this and a multimeter, you can go right down the RF line of your kit and figure out, do you have RF? How much RF? What's the power? And you can track down what's not working in your rig. It's great. And if you don't have one, you got one now, but you really need one. Right? Really need one. So this was not and a free hat to boot. So this is not a trivial thing. This is a piece of equipment every QRP should have. Probably one of one. How many finished so far? All right. Don't leave without letting us make sure you got counted and whatnot, because I want to know how many people built one here. I can't go to the Guinness Book of World Records because it takes like 12 weeks to have a representative schedule a visit. And I didn't know I was going to do this until about a week and a half ago, or 2 weeks ago. So I couldn't schedule ahead for a Guinness man. I got a Guinness man though. No, he's not Guinness man. No, he's a Yorkshire man. I don't think Yorkshire really goes into Guinness. Do they? I didn't think so. How many finished now? Okay. More. If you want to later on, if you don't know how our probe works, we have a rig over on my table, and you can probe through it. Yeah, if you really need it checked out. Everybody, all right, you guys can handle this thing? 80 school? Oh. Well, this morning say 50. Oh. 80? We're going to beat that. I've just been informed that Steve says that, to his knowledge, the biggest Buildathon in England so far has been 80 school kids. Oh, you guys got those 80 kids, you hands down.
By the way,
Folder. I'm sorry, I forgot where I was. Folder, yeah. Soldering. But see, this is a no soldering kit, so I don't have to even say soldering. I had to say it a little while ago, I guess. But yeah. Any other questions, comments? Yes, sir. Spare time? What the hell?
Short of a diode.
Wait. He's short of a diode? Oh, that Dick did that. He was hitting the diode. Oh! I forgot I had a picture. Hold on a second. I gotta back up one here on this thing. I don't know how to back up. How do you back up a PowerPoint? 3? Tell you what, I'm just gonna do this.
Who's this in the diet? Drop the diet. They want the mic on.
Oh, man. I lost it. I had a picture, Dick Pasco and I had to get these 200 kits the other night in Graham's dining room table. So we, round of applause for Dick Pasco. There he is, okay. I mean, I guess king and prince of the kidders, huh? So, but yeah, I had to, last minute parts came in and we had to bend and cut some stuff and then get 200 bags of these things for you guys. So, how many built so far? Whoa, wait a minute, take it away. How many unbuilt? Oh, okay, we're still working. All right. You know, you can't leave unless you got a built unit. We have a guard at the door. If it's not built, you don't get out of here. Pardon? I'm so supposed to catch it.
What's the capability?
I believe Chuck Carpenter tested it, and I think he said that the 5711 diode in that configuration, I thought he told me it was good for at least 60 megahertz. I thought that's what he told me. But, you know, you could query that on the list, and Chuck Carpenter, Mr. Chuck Carpenter, oh shoot, I just had a mental blank, you know.
103, I guess.
100, oh, come on, just 103. How about all these turkeys up here in the valley? You get them?
Yeah, I got them.
103.
Oh, 104.
104.
Finish some more.
All right, okay.
105.
105.
105.
Okay.
One just left.
Another one done? What?
Give your 105.
Wait a minute, there's a guy back there.
Yeah, we
Who's
got
that?
105.
Okay, you counted him. Okay.
How about the guy working the camera there?
He built one. Did you build one? He built one. He's
Yeah, okay.
got to work. He's back to working the camera. Okay. We got someone still working on him?
Yeah.
Okay. That's okay. We're not in a hurry. I'm not. Okay. I mean, these guys want to go back to trading and everything, so.
Where's the other 18?
I don't know. Well, I was told this room held 150 people, so I had 150 kits ready to go. Actually, I was told it was 100, so I did 150 kits, and then they told me it was 150 people in this room, so I had to go to 200 kits. And now I find it's only a measly 105.
We built two.
We built two?
Yeah.
Okay, we can bump that to 200. Now, here's the thing. If you want to show somebody else a little bit about kitting, you can take all the parts out and have them build it. We actually, I actually at Dayton rebuilt a kit about 10 times over in the booth and whatnot. Oh, just put them all back in the bag and try it again. And then, now this is the other thing I had, when I did the thing on my website, you'll see a picture of my stopwatch on my camera. It was 1 minute, 20 seconds, and I wasn't even steaming. But probably, I bet you could probably build it in about 35 seconds.
One guy's had to go home, so...
Okay.
109.
109. Should we sign
I've
off?
got those.
Okay, 109? Is that official?
No,
You're the last guy? No? Where's the last guy? Huh? He's still working on it right there. He can't see it. He didn't bring his glasses. Or he refuses to go to the optician, one or the other. 109 people in here, so I am assuming that we're going to have 109 people. You all don't have to stay and wait for that one guy. Just remember who he is. What's he called?
110, this gets glasses steps.
110?
He's got to find his glasses.
Oh, so we're missing one, but he's gonna come back. Okay. I tell you what, I'll be here for a little while. And if y'all want to go back over there, I won't be offended if you want to leave. Any other comments, questions? Yes, sir. Was there a question? No, I guess not. Anybody looking for some simple kit that they've never been able to find? I'm searching for ideas. Not that I'll make it, but I just like ideas. I'm an idea man. Okay. I'm on the floor. You hit me with anything you got. That's done?
Yeah.
Done. Doing. He's doing.
Another one in the middle there, Rex.
You're doing.
Two more.
Anybody else that isn't done? Him.
One at the top corner.
He's working. Okay. What you got? Done. Doing. Doing. And you didn't have to go to your hook. I'm sorry, I love when you go to the end.
Rex, it looks like we've got the 109 finished.
109 finished. All right. Everybody get there for that. 109. I wasn't quite 246, but I knew we weren't going to have that number. But I had a good time kidding him and coming up with the idea, and it's great. We set a record. We might have to beat it again if some kids want to beat our record. We have to do it all over again sometime.
July next year.
July next year?
Youngsters on the air, do well.
Okay. I hope you just enjoyed what you just did. Hope I was pleasing in my talk. And you can leave a fiver on the page. Help me get home. No, thank you very much. You've been a good batch of builders. I love them. I love it. Okay. Thanks a lot. And go on over and find some more bargains over there. Some bits. Get some good bits.